This is the Earth's tectonic plates, volcanoes, and earthquakes test. Number 1. Lana knows Wagner's hypothesis that the continents had once been a part of a single landmass and that the continents had slowly drifted apart, and she knows some of the evidence that supports the hypothesis. What evidence does the map provide that Lana can use to support the continental drift theory? A. The continents fit well together. B. Several continents have similar rock formations. C. Similar plant fossils are found on several continents. D. Similar mountain ranges are located on several continents. Number 2, in the 5 years from 2010 to 2015, there were no earthquakes in the state of Pennsylvania. On the other hand, Southern California, which is similar in size to Pennsylvania, experienced nearly 10,000 earthquakes a year. Which of the following statements might best explain this difference in frequency of earthquakes? A. Unlike California, Pennsylvania is not situated near a plate boundary where earthquakes are frequent. B. Compared to California, Pennsylvania is in a time of minimal earthquakes, but will eventually have more. C. Pennsylvania sits on top of more stable crust than California does and is therefore resistant to earthquakes. D. Pennsylvania has fewer seismographs than California and is unable to detect all of the earthquakes in the region. Number 3. Felix is interested in the South American plate moving in relation to the plates that it touches. Based on evidence from the map, which statements should Felix make to best describe the interactions of this tectonic plate? A. The South American plate diverges from both the African plate and the Nazca plate. B. The South American plate converges with both the African plate and the Nazca plate. C. The South American plate converges with the African plate and diverges from the Nazca plate. Or D. The South American plate diverges from the African plate and converges with the Nazca plate. Number 4. Mount Etna is an active volcano in Italy. Human records show many eruptions since 425 BCE, in which many buildings were destroyed and people killed. This is despite people noticing warning earthquakes and the ground deforming. In one eruption in 1169 CE, 15,000 people were killed. In more recent years, Mount Etna erupted nearly every year between 2001 and 2017, yet the number of deaths has declined considerably. What is likely the cause of this change in the number of deaths? A. More historical records. B. Decreased frequency in eruptions. C. Decreased magnitude of eruptions. D. Tracking precursors events with technology. Number 5. The San Andreas Fault is located in California. Every year, it is responsible for many earthquakes. Look at the image taken after the 1906 earthquake, which shows a fence that crosses the fault at a right angle. The fence was originally built in a straight line. What type of motion along the San Andreas Fault explains the change to the fence? A. One plate slides under the other. B. The plates slide past one another. C. The plates move apart from one another. D. Cracks in the plate move past one another. Number 6. Where do volcanoes form? A. Hotspots. B. Convergent boundaries. C. Divergent boundaries. D. All of the above. Number 7. A hotspot is a place where blank from the mantle rises to the crust. A. Fire. B. Magma. C. Solid rock. D. Molten iron. Number 8. The process of blank occurs when large land masses move, like when Pangea broke apart. A. Plate shift. B. Continental drift. C. Land transference. D. Landmass movement. Number 9. Why does Iceland have so many volcanoes? A. It is on a transform boundary. B. They built them as tourist attractions. C. It is on a especially active convergent boundary. Or D. It is on both a hotspot and a divergent boundary. Number 10. Which of the following is not a precursor event for volcanic eruption? A. The air gets very dry. B. Release of volcanic gases. C. Changes in the volcano shape. D. Small earthquakes under the volcano. Number 11. The crust beneath an ocean, blank crust, is thinner than the crust beneath continents, blank crust. A, water, land, B, aquatic, rocky, C, oceanic, continental, D, marine, terrestrial. Number 12, what is the lithosphere? A, another name for Earth's crust. B, the part of the mantle near the core where it is the hottest. C, the outer rigid part of the mantle and the crust combined. D, the part of the core that is closest to the mantle where it is the coolest. Number 13, what is the pattern of earthquakes and volcanoes across the Earth? A, they are both spread evenly across Earth. B, earthquakes occur wherever volcanoes do not. C, volcanoes are found only on islands and earthquakes are found only in the middle of continents. D, they are both mostly found in narrow zones around the edges of continents and the ocean basins and along island chains. Number 14, the Pacific blank is a region of heavy volcano and earthquake activity. A, lava circuit, B, ring of fire, C, circle of volcanoes, D, earthquake zone. Number 15, what two types of boundaries do earthquakes mostly occur at? A, subduction and divergent, B, convergent and transform, C, convergent and subduction, D, divergent and transform. 16, rocks near mid-ocean ridges are blank rocks further away. This phenomenon is due to a process called blank. A, the same age as weathering, B, a different type from, deposition, C, older than, seafloor converging, D, younger than, seafloor spreading. Number 17, as plates try to slide past each other, they blank, and earthquakes occur when the pressure builds up and they blank. A, rub each other, B, and then rub off rock, B, stick together, push apart, C, get stuck, snap free, D, slide smoothly, release gas. 18, the theory of plate tectonics says that rigid pieces of the lithosphere called blank move across the Earth's surface very slowly. A, land masses, B, tectonic plates, C, Wegener regions, D, lithospheric pieces. Number 19, a trench forms at what kind of boundary? A, convergent, B, divergent, C, spreading, D, transform. Number 20, volcanoes form at blank boundaries when one plate blank another and melts, forming magma pockets just below the surface. A, spreading, pulls away from, B, transform, rubs against, C, divergent, slides over, D, convergent, sinks beneath. Number 21, which of the following is an example of how Japan mitigates or lessens the effects of earthquakes? A, Japan does not have bridges. B, Japan does not build high-rise buildings. C, buildings in Japan use more concrete than buildings elsewhere. Or D, high-rise buildings are built on top of rubber shock absorbers. Number 22, tectonic plate motion is mainly caused by blank. A, the spinning of the earth. B, convection cells in the mantle. C, the shaking caused by earthquakes. D, the pull of the moon on the oceans. Number 23, which is an explanation of a scientific theory? A, an educated guess. B, a prediction that is made before observations or experimentation takes place. C, a well-established group of ideas that is supported by a large amount of evidence and that can be used to explain a natural phenomenon. D, a hypothesis. Number 24, which word describes the process by which a collision between two tectonic plates forced the denser plate under the less dense plate? A, submarine, B, subatomic plate, C, substitute, D, subduction. 25, which scientist found evidence supporting his continental drift hypothesis that has since been described as a theory and published his work in 1915? A, Alfred Wegener, B, Abraham Ortelius, C, Charles Darwin, D, Sir Isaac Newton. Number 26, the blank is the number of times an event happens in a specific amount of time, while the blank is the strength or intensity of an event, represented by a numerical scale. A, frequency, magnitude, B, magnitude, fortitude, C, frequency, mitigate, D, mitigate, magnitude. Number 27 is a written response. What was Pangea? Number 28, for a long time, scientists had evidence that supported the idea that continents never moved. However, new evidence and Wagner's theory changed that idea. Explain how the scientific idea changed using 3 types of new evidence. Please number your responses and write in complete sentences. Use the information from an investigation described below to answer questions 29 through 31. In 2005, Japanese scientists and engineers built a giant earthquake shake table in response to the deadly 1995 earthquake near Kobe, Japan. A shake table is a large platform that can move in 3 directions, simulating an earthquake. In 2008, 4 full-size wooden houses were tested on the shake table. Engineers wanted to see how age and required safety improvements affected the house's stability in an earthquake of the same magnitude as the 1995 earthquake. 2 houses that were tested were built in 1974. The first house, Model A, did not have any safety improvements after it was originally built. The second house, Model B, did have some improvements, including braces, plywood, and metal joints. The other 2 houses were built in 2006. One of these houses, Model C, did not have any safety improvements. This was to simulate a newly built but older style house. The other house, Model D, was built to include the most up-to-date earthquake-resistant safety improvements. Each house was tested until it collapsed. Shaking tests 1, 3, 4, and 5 were at the same magnitude as the 1995 Kobe earthquake. Shaking test 2 was tested at 60% of this magnitude to simulate an aftershock. The table below shows the data from this test. Number 29. Based on the results of the investigation, the data below, which house withstood the most shaking? So results of the houses on earthquakes shake table. We have number 1, Model A collapsed, B stood, C stood, D stood. Number 2, 60% of 1995 Kobe magnitude. Nothing available. It stood. Model C stood. Model D stood. Test 3, 100% of 1995 Kobe magnitude. Model A, not applicable. B, collapsed. C, collapsed. Model D, stood. Test 4, 100% of 1995 Kobe magnitude. A, B, and C, there's no data, but D still stood. And then test 5, 100% of 1995 Kobe magnitude. Again, nothing applicable for A, B, and C. And finally, Model D collapsed. So again, based on the results of the investigation or the data below, which house withstood the most shaking? A, Model A, B, Model B, C, Model C, D, Model D. Number 30, based on the results of the investigation, what claim can be made regarding older homes compared to newer homes? A, newer homes 2006 with required safety improvements are as earthquake resistant as older homes 1974 with the safety improvements. B, newer homes 2006 with required safety improvements are as earthquake resistant as older homes from 1974 without safety improvements. C, newer homes 2006 without required safety improvements are as earthquake resistant as older homes 1974 without safety improvement. D, newer homes from 2006 without required safety improvements are as earthquake resistant as older homes 1974 with some safety improvements. Number 31, based on the results from the investigation, how should engineers plan to improve the stability of older homes in Japan? A, tear them down and rebuild them. B, require that all safety improvements be made. C, increase the earthquake safety rules for building future homes. D, increase the emergency response in neighborhoods with older homes.